But I want to start the pod by talking about Brentford's sensational victory against Chelsea. But the way Brentford blew them away was down to kind of one man's influence, really. But Christian Eriksen was so influential, wasn't he? He got his first goal in club colours. He looks like an astute piece of business, doesn't he? It's great to see him back. You can't help but be happy seeing Christian Eriksen playing this way, can you, really?
It's mad how quickly he's slotted in and just looks like Christian Eriksen. Obviously, there was a spell of him he signed and then didn't play for a little while. He was kind of gathering his match fitness. But I don't think anyone would have anticipated that he would have just slotted in at that sort of elite level straight away. But he really is. And not just for his club side. I mean, we saw, and I think we might have spoke about it last week, the impact he had when he came on for Denmark as well. But to do it against Chelsea in the Premier League, in one of Brentford's biggest ever wins, let's say.
Great result.
They're in the Premier League. It's a West London derby. It's a massive game for them. What a result that is. And yeah, it's wonderful to see him kind of spearheading that. But there was a lot of Brentford players that could get a lot of credit really in this result, I think.
Yeah, I think the way that they responded to going down to a sensational strike from Antonio Rudiger as well was incredibly, strong-spirited, strong-willed. And their form since they've had Eriksen playing that kind of football has been really impressive. He's changed the way they play. I mean, there was a lot of criticism when they kind of lost their momentum, Brentford, at the start of the season to the middle, where they were so predictable to play against and they were channeling a lot of their attacks down the wings, but they had no creativity in the middle, really. So he's provided that. And he just opened up so many doors, didn't he? I mean, aside from his own goal that he scored, he was the centre of everything good they did, wasn't he, really?
Yeah, I think the most important thing for Brentford in this was that they responded to going 1-0 down very quickly. Because you know what teams like Chelsea are like? Once they've got a lead and they can get a foothold in the game, it's really hard to grind out a result against them. But they bit back quite quickly. And there were signs of it in the first half that they could. And really, when you look at that Chelsea midfield that started this game, Brentford midfield was what won it for them. All three of them played incredibly well. And I think, although Eriksen is obviously instrumental in their success of late, having Ivan Toney back in there massively helps. Although he didn't score in this game, again, he's still connecting everything that they do. And I think he's a wonderful striker. I'm really interested to see where his career progresses to now, whether he stays at Brentford for another year or not, because there is potential there for a really good number 9. And it's the same with Eriksen, really. Does he remain at Brentford next season? Does he feel settled enough that he says, yeah, I just want to be here and happy and playing football? Because
let's not get too negative yet. I was trying to celebrate Brentford's win here. Like, this could be a turnaround in their form.
It's true.
You're right. There's so many questions being asked now because their players are looking like really valuable assets, aren't they?
Quite a few of them. I mean, Brian Mbeumo as well. I thought he was fantastic, and he's had a really strong season. And Whistler came off the bench and scored as well. So they've got great assets. And all of a sudden, that dip in form where we started to wonder if Brentford were going to slide into the relegation picture, they're out of it now. There's no way they're getting sucked into it at this point. Great result for Thomas Frank's men, and it would be interesting to see what Brentford do next season, really, whether they can invest in the summer or not. It would be exciting to see them playing good football again.
Well, that's interesting to consider, actually, because obviously Eriksen, there was question marks over his fitness from a few people. And I know I was genuinely worried whether he could commit to playing 90 minutes of top-level football again. I think we all were slightly worried by that. Doctors obviously gave him the all clear. Brentford at the time, I mean, in hindsight, it sounds ridiculous, but they took, let's face it, a bit of a gamble, didn't they, taking him on? And he's absolutely proved beyond any doubt that his fitness is not an issue. He's almost not lost any of the spark that he had prior. In fact, you can almost see like a zest in the way he plays. Like, he's really grateful to be out there on the pitch. And that's got to have influenced the outlook of his teammates as well. Because if you see Christian Eriksen lining up alongside you, giving everything he's given after everything he's been through, there's no excuse for you not to, really. I definitely feel like he's raised Brentford's game across the whole team.